All right. I've decided to do this with YouTube instead of through Facebook Live, partially because of the fact that with the Facebook Live, I kept dropping reception. Either I'm too far from the Wi-Fi signal of the computer, or I'm out here in the middle of nowhere where we get almost no signal from the towers. We'll get it and then we won't. So I'm doing this video as a second of a couple of videos that I started. Some video I started yesterday with live on talking about the COVID virus and things like that. So today I wanted to clarify a few things. One of the things I wanted to clarify was on the video, Facebook live, I had talked about the N95 masks blocking out 3 microns. I think I actually had started saying 0.3 micron and then corrected myself. 3 microns. It actually is 0.3 microns, that they filter out 95% of the particles that are 0.3 microns or larger. Again, only 95%. And that's if the air goes, 100% of the air goes through the material. And that's kind of where everything lies. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit and explain what these masks are, what does the N95, KN95, all of that kind of stuff, what does that actually mean? The biggest thing you need to understand is that there are 3 basic types or styles of mask that you would just wear for particles and that kind of stuff. You need to understand, though, that there are some very industrial masks that come with hoods and everything. They have air pack that pressurize the hood and make sure that the hood is stayed pressurized, partially pressurized, so that no outside air gets in. You're breathing in clean air from a air pack, and you're not getting any outside air. Some of those just simply have a filter on the back and a fan that puts air. Some of them have a pressurized cylinder that you wear as a backpack and that kind of stuff. So those are, in many cases, are considered as respirators. Now, that is not the same respirator that you're hearing about on the news media and everything, where hospitals in some countries were running out of these respirators. New York City made such a big deal about, we don't have enough respirators. And of course, you know, on one side, it was Donald Trump's fault that they didn't have it. And on the other side, it was, it was Cuomo's fault because he had the opportunity to buy them, but he didn't a few years ago, those kind of things. And so I'm not here to discuss whether it's somebody's fault or not. I'm not here to discuss whether or not you should wear them or you shouldn't. I'm here to simply give you the knowledge. You decide whether you're going to wear it or you're not. Whether you're going to get upset because somebody's wearing them or not. This is kind of to calm down some of this hatred that people are showing towards those that aren't wearing them. And the hatred, not so much hatred, but, you know, disgust of people that, oh, you just want to control me. This is to help you decide whether or not it is a necessity to wear them or not. And you're going to learn some things about these masks that most people don't know and that really need to be shared with people. So, for instance, there are 3 basic styles. You have your industrial cartridge type. These have rubber face masks that seal to your face. You got a little flap that seals to your face. When you're breathing in, the air goes through here. When you're exhaling, the air goes out. Because technically, if this is fit up close to your face, tight onto your face, no air goes around this. So you have to have these cartridges to breathe in and out of. These cartridges can be everything from an N95 up to even filtering out organic materials, volatiles, toxic materials, those kind of things, vapors, gases. They can do a little bit of the gases depending on what it is. Odors, those kind of things, that filters out. The cheaper version of this, an N95, is this one. Now this cartridge can be replaced with a little bit better material, but this is N95 material here. Exhale ports here, valves. So when you pressurize, you breathe out, the air goes out through here. When you go to breathe in, the air comes in through this cartridge right here. So again, rubberized, rubbery plastic type things, got the little valve to seal to your face, positive seal. Now the key to this is that someone like me with a beard, this doesn't positively seal to my face. It will positively seal to the skin, but once it gets into the beard area, you can see it doesn't seal positively to the face. But it does do much better than most of the masks that you're seeing people walking around with. So, industrial type. Another is this, where this manufacturer actually makes the outer material of neoprene. It's stretchy. It is made to fit tight to your face. I actually saw a video of someone, I'm not going to mention the name, but it was a presidential candidate wearing one that was similar to this, and he was actually wearing it very loose to his face. And in fact, whenever he talked, he had to keep grabbing the mask, putting it back up on his face, putting it back up on his face, because it kept falling every time he would talk, because it was so loose to his face. Because to wear these properly, they do get a bit uncomfortable, because you have to wear them up to your face pretty snugly so that it conforms to your face and fits, and then doesn't allow air in from the edges. So this mask here, it also does, it's got an insert that snaps in and out. Okay, so it snaps in and snaps out. It also has a layer in here to block out, kind of filter out some of the larger particles. It's cheap, just throw away. That doesn't cost much at all for that. And then it's got this inner layer that has activated charcoal in it. You can see the exhale ports here, valves, and then it also has the N95 material here. This is actually a little thicker than most N95 material that you get, the mask. So it's got a double extra layer. This is actually made with the N95 material, but it's also activated charcoal, so it blocks out odors, organic materials, vapors, those kind of things. So that's very good material there. Very good one there. You used to be able to get them relatively inexpensive and easily off the internet. The Orientals, Chinese, were selling them as pollution masks, anti-pollution masks. So that's the first, is that truly industrial, what some people refer to as a respirator, but it's not. It's a respirator filter. It's a filter. But anyway, the next one is the industrial dust particulate mask. So these, you can get a more expensive one here. I got it upside down. More expensive one here, little cheapies here. These were basically, before the COVID virus, these were as low as 15 cents a piece, depending on how many you bought at a time. So if you bought a box of like 500, they were down to 15 cents. If you bought a box of 100, they were 25 cents. If you bought 10, they may be as much as 60 cents a piece. But anyway, cheapies. But they're made of the N95 material, but they're not actual N95. They cannot sell them as N95 because of the fact that it's just a single layer, really cheap, not much. This is can be sold as an N95 mask. Again, the thing of the N95, what you need to understand is, what does the N stand for? The N stands for non-oil substances. So it filters out non-oil substances. 95 means 95% of particulates, non-oil because of the N, that are 0.3 micron or larger. What does that mean as far as COVID? COVID is 0.12 to 0.15 microns in size. So less than half the size of what this mask is designed to filter out. And again, it's only 95% of 0.3 microns or larger, not all of it. Another caveat to that is that it has to go through the filter. It's not filtering out 95% of what you breathe. it is considered that most people wearing these are only getting maybe at the best 60% of the air they're breathing going through this, because they wear it improperly. They don't know how to wear it properly. It's uncomfortable when you wear it more properly, so they want to wear it loosely. Just like that one candidate that was wearing one of those neoprene, and he was wearing it very loosely, and every time he talked it fell off, was falling, and he'd have to keep putting it back up on his face. That's improper. So what is it doing for him? Not much, if anything. So just to kind of give you an example of that, if I'm not wearing this properly, it's kind of like this plastic bag right here. Oops, let me turn around. Okay, so this plastic bag right here. No, I'm not going to put it over my head. Some of you might want me to, but I'm not going to put it over my head. So, plastic bag. I'm going to just simply take this, and no air can go through this plastic bag. No particulates can go through this plastic bag, essentially. And so, definitely 100% particulate free. Now, if I put it on my face, and I seal it to my face, and I put it around, I've got it up close to my face. Let's not do that. Okay, so I've got it held to my face nice and tight, right? Okay, no problem breathing whatsoever. Why? Because air is going in from underneath and around the mask. The thing of it is that's the problem with these face masks, is that people aren't wearing them properly. They don't know how to wear them properly. And even if you do, at best, it is considered you're only filtering out 80% of the air at best. Okay, so a good example of this, I wear these all the time, welding, grinding, cutting, painting, that kind of stuff. And when I get through, even though I've been taught how to wear these properly, how to fit them properly onto my face, I still will blow my nose and get all kind of particles in my nose where I've been breathing. My beard on the outside, I can see where on my face, I can see where I've been wearing it, but it's still dirty, dusty, that kind of stuff going on. Now again, beard has some effect on that, but even when I didn't have a beard, still not. Even those that don't have beards, they wear it properly, it's still, there's some air gets around this. Now, another thing I want to make a note of, this metal band right here, that is not necessarily to seal off your face where you're breathing so that you don't breathe. What this is for is when you exhale. If you don't have that, if I were to just put this on my face and I breathe out, I can actually feel myself breathe it, my breath exhaling. I can feel it on my eyes. If I'm wearing safety glasses, I'm fogging up my glasses, whether it's prescription or safety glasses. I'm fogging them up because that moist air from me breathing, exhaling, is going right into my eyes. So this metal bar right here is made flexible to fit to your nose so that it fits down tight, so that the air does, when you exhale, it doesn't go up into your eyes, okay, and fog up your glasses, whether they're safety glasses or prescription. That's what that metal bar is for. So you wearing that bar, making sure it's fitting close to your face. It's just like me taking this plastic bag and I fit it up close and I've got it stuck to my face, and I put it even all the way around, even down to here. You can see it's down tight. I'm having no problem breathing because of this, even though this plastic bag is here, because I'm still breathing through the bottom of the bag. It's coming from underneath. Okay, so the masks that you're wearing, are they really helping? Now this is the N95. This, by the way, is much better than this style of mask. Okay, this style of mask is what everybody's wearing. Now, I need to explain to you very carefully about this mask. This is a medical style mask. The medical masks that there is a ban on them selling to the open public is because the medical personnel are having a hard time getting these types of masks. Okay, because of the fact that everybody thinks that the medical masks are better than the N95 industrial mask. Let me explain something to you. This mask is designed to protect the wearer from particulates, dust, 0.3 microns or larger, 95, and it only blocks out 95% if it's going through the material itself. Okay, this mask is designed to protect someone else, the patient, all right, anyone else. So if I, the nurse, the technician, the doctor, were to cough or sneeze or even talk, and I had bacteria, virus, anything like that, fungus, anything like that, and I were to breathe out, talking, coughing, sneezing, it's not going to get on them. It is not for the protection of the doctor. It is not for the protection of the nurse. It is not for the protection of it's not designed for that. That's not what it's designed for. So what it does is it's no more than that plastic bag or me putting my hand over my face when I cough or sneeze. Okay? It doesn't block air, doesn't filter air coming in, me breathing in. Because the way that it's made to fit loosely on your face. The metal bar that's on these, it's for the same reason that the metal bar is on these industrial. It's for safety glass, not fogging up the glasses, not fogging up safety glasses, those kind of things. You'll see many of the professionals, medical professionals, wearing face shields. That is for their protection against you sneezing on them or coughing on them, or while you're talking, spitting on them, breathing on them. That's what that is for. So these right here are for if someone is sick, possibly carrying COVID, you're not going to infect others. Okay, that's what they're designed for. Now, these right here are not medical masks. The only difference between this and the medical mask is the facilities that they're manufactured in. Okay, so even though the machines may be the same, they're the same materials, they're basically made the same. Basically, the facilities are registered for making medical masks. What does that mean? Really nothing. It's just kind of a licensure thing. They can license it and sell it as a medical mask. There's really not technically no real difference in them. Okay, so just wanted to let you know that these masks, again, especially the medical style, nothing more than me wearing this plastic mask, this plastic bag over my face. It keeps me from coughing, sneezing, talking, breathing on you. It doesn't protect me. The N95 masks are going to protect you to a certain extent. But again, these are designed to filter out 95% of 0.3 microns or larger if it filters through the mask. Remember, at best, it's about 80% of the air you're breathing actually goes through this. So 100%, no. This is going to get you closer to 100%. Very uncomfortable, very bad. And again, you got to fit it up tight to your face. You got to wear it tight. These rubber straps are made to pull it up tight to your face. It is very uncomfortable. And so just wanted to let everybody know that these are for protection of others, designed for protection of others, not for you. These are designed for protection of you, for particles, larger particles, dust particles, that kind of stuff, not necessarily against viruses, those kind of things. Some of these can protect you against viruses and stuff, depending on the cartridge. It's got to be the correct cartridge that you get in there, okay? Because like this one here, it's got an N95 cartridge. Again, not going to filter out 100% of the COVID. Now, here's the thing about COVID. 0.1 5.12 to 1.15 in diameter size. Go through that. But how does that COVID get around? They are discovering more and more of how people are being infected by COVID. COVID is a virus that is transmitted in multiple different ways. The problem of it is when the Chinese first got it and it started running through China, they were giving disinformation, not just misinformation, disinformation. Now, what that caused was a lot of the WHO, CDC to be giving you misinformation. And even now, we still get a lot of misinformation. What's the difference between disinformation and misinformation? Disinformation is purposely misleading you. Misinformation is misleading you by giving you incorrect information, not on purpose. Much of the CDC information that has gone out has been misinformation because they were given improper information. They were given disinformation. So they were trying to help people and they gave a lot of misinformation. Not purposely bad information, but simply because that's what they had to work with at the time. Now there are media that is giving you disinformation. Some media gives you misinformation while others give you disinformation. So it ends up that you need to go in and research and find out what's going on and what is actually happening. So the misinformation that was out there was that these masks at first, don't wear them because they're actually going to cause you to get the virus. And in some ways, it's true. I've watched people wearing them, even professionals, readjusting, putting their hands up to put the thing. That hand going to your face is actually worse than that mask not fitting properly. So the fact that you're putting your hands, that's what even Dr. Fauci was trying to say at first. Don't wear the mask because you're actually have a higher chance of infecting yourself. This is not about keeping yourself from being infected. It's about keeping others from being infected. So again, correct information is these are for protecting others, not necessarily you. Now, it does protect you to a certain extent, but not 100%, not even 95%, not even 60%. It's at less than 40%. I'm outside, so there's bugs. Anyway, so, and down south, so it's bugs. Anyway, just want to give you that information. The COVID, again, they're not sure exactly how people are getting it. Just to kind of give you an example, there was a woman that they traced back to that she had in contact with hundreds of people. She was infected. She at first was asymptomatic, meaning she gave no symptoms. She had no symptoms. When she finally did develop symptoms, she had been carrying the virus for several weeks. She had been in contact with hundreds of people. And out of those hundreds of people, the only person she infected was the person she was actually living with. And had very intimate contact with that person. And they developed symptoms pretty quickly, but they were mild. The woman herself had, when she did develop symptoms, very mild symptoms, she came in contact with hundreds of people and only one was infected. While others, and the media really likes to tout this, one in particular situation where there was a church where they had held services and there was one or two, I think at the most 3 people that were infected, didn't know it. They were asymptomatic, had no idea that they were infected. They went to church in the building, infected over 35 people. Out of those 35, ended up 2 people, or 1 person died. Ended up consequently, another person died from it. In some cases, it is transmitted very easily. Other cases, it's not. In most cases that they've found, it's been direct person to person. It has not been from somebody touching surfaces and then spreading it to themselves, giving it to themselves, where somebody has coughed or something and been on the surface. In fact, many times it's not even so much somebody coughing or sneezing, and then somebody coming through minutes later, because the COVID virus is inside the moisture, inside your spit or whatever, saliva, and it inside the moisture when you exhale, those kind of things, and that drops pretty quickly. It's also been known, it's been discovered that, like here in the South where it's hot, humid, COVID virus doesn't live in the air very well, or even on surfaces very well, as long as, say, over in Nevada where they may have 20% humidity. It's going to live longer on a dry surface than it does on moisture-bearing surface. In fact, putting on hand creams, hand lotions, helps to protect you from possibly transferring it to yourself. It does give a barrier. That's been proven. So it ends up that moisture does kill this virus off relatively quickly. 30 minutes to an hour. Doesn't take long. Alcohol is one of the best disinfectants. It dries that. It actually causes that, and it's got to have some water in it. So the water actually goes into the COVID virus itself, the membranes, takes the alcohol with it, kills it off very quickly. So 70%, 60%, 70% is what is suggested. If you get over 91%, it actually can shut the virus down, make it dormant, and it doesn't kill it off. So 70%, got to have some moisture to it. That 70% is ideal. 60% does work. Most hand sanitizers with moisturizers are in around 60, 65%. Does work. So just some information for you out there. Let you know about the COVID virus. Disinformation versus misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but there's a lot of disinformation too. People actually purposely giving incorrect information on purpose to either scare you, to mislead you, make you think that it's worse than what it is, or even it's not as bad as what it is. So it ends up that we need to make sure that we are educating ourselves, not having other people necessarily educate you. Again, please go and verify even what I'm telling you. Go look it up. I dare you to look it up. Okay. Go to the proper sources though. Go to the CDC. Go to places like that to verify this information. There's been some articles written where supposedly 80,000 people died last year from flu. No. It's estimated at the most 59,000 died, but it could be as low as 29,000 that died last year. So definitely not 80,000. So just make sure you understand that you're getting proper information, getting good sources, using those good sources. Fact check stuff for yourself. Don't rely on fact check sites. There's a lot of fact check sites that are out there that are giving misinformation. And in some cases, actual disinformation. They're saying that some sources are bad sources when actually they're good. So fact-check sites sometimes do have their own agendas. So just be careful of even fact-check sites. Fact-check the fact-checkers. Okay? Fact-checkers. Anyway, just wanted to give you that information out there, help you to maybe make a little bit better decisions on what you're doing, and maybe don't get so mad at other people because they're not wearing a mask. Maybe they're better informed and really know what's going on. But again, it's good to wear a mask in public, around people. Best thing is stay 6 feet away from people when they're talking, especially when they're talking to you, so that you don't get caught in it. All right. Anyway, See ya.